welcome to Talking to Time. Today's guest is old as time itself, Mr. Tin Sniffler. He was there every step of Moses' journey to today. Now let's start. Did you know Moses?
Oh, that little Moses was always getting into trouble.
He was?
Oh, yes.
When did Moses hear God?
When Moses was walking, he heard God talking to him in a burning bush and told him to go free the Hebrews. Moses and Aaron went to the Pharaoh and said the famous word, "Let my people go." But things only got worse for the Hebrews.
What did Moses do to free the Hebrews?
God sent 10 plagues on the Egyptians to convince the Pharaoh to let them go. Then the 10th plague was sent to them was Passover. The firstborn of every family in Egypt would be killed. However, if they put blood of a male lamb on the door, God would pass over them. Finally, the Pharaoh agreed to let the Hebrews go, but he changed his mind. God parted the sea and the Hebrews passed safely. But when the army tried to cross the sea, it closed up on them and they all died.
Wow! Tell me about the 10 Commandments.
Did you know that Mount Sinai is also called Horeb? Moses read to the Hebrews. They agreed to do all that God said to do. God tested their faith often. Moses was gone for 40 days and 40 nights. After the 40 days, Moses came down from the mountain with the tablets of stone with the 10 Commandments on them.
40 days?
Yes, ma'am.
I could never do it. Can you name some of the judges?
Yes, when God's people conquered Canaan, Samson and Ruth.
How did the Israelites conquer the city of Jericho?
They did as God told them and marched around the city with horns and trumpets. On the 7th day, the wall fell and they took over the city.
Please tell us about the story of Samson.
Oh yes, he was very strong, and his long hair made him strong. One day he told his wife that his hair made him strong, and that night she had a man come in and cut his hair. Samson was captured by the Philistines. Instead of killing him, they humiliated him by putting him to hard labor. His hair began to grow back, but they paid no attention. In spite of his horrible failures and sins, Simon's heart now turned to the Lord. He was humble and he prayed to God, and God answered. The Philistines gathered in the Gaza to celebrate. Samson braced himself between the two central support pillars in the temple. He pushed with all of his might. The temple fell, killing him and all the people in it. He killed more people in this one act than he ever has in his life.
I would have hated to be there.
Yes, and I think I was the only one who survived.
Mr. Tin Sniffler, you were there?
Yes, how else would I know what happened?
Let's move on to the story of Saul and David.
Yes, David, such a nice guy. While Saul was the first king of Israel, God spoke to him through Samuel. At first he listened, but however, he stopped listening. God had chosen a new king for when Saul died. His name was David. David was a small boy and was too young to join the army. At the time, the Philistines were being led by a giant man named Goliath, and no one dared to fight him. David went up against him and won. When David became king, he led the Philistines out of Israel.
Was Solomon the next king?
Yes, he was David's kid. Solomon was not a warrior. His time of ruling was a time of peace. He was very wise, and that's what claimed him his fame. There was 2 women fighting over a baby. Solomon said to cut the baby in half and give half to each. The real mother told him to give the baby to the other woman, and that is how Simon knew who the baby belonged to. He decided to build a temple that you can still see today.
That's all the time we have for this episode of Talking to Time. See you next week. Welcome to Talking to Time. Today's man of wisdom is Donald Trump. What? Are you kidding me? Stop it. Welcome to Talking to Time. Today's guest.
Did you know that Mount Sinai is also called Oob? Did you know that Mount Sinai is also called Arub? Wait, I wasn't ready.